want you to imagine something for a moment. I want you to picture you're 5 years out from retirement. You're about to make the ultimate leap from working your 9 to 5 everyday job into going into retirement and having that freedom and enjoying everything you've worked hard for your whole life. Now, if you're at that point, there's 5 things that you can do 5 years before you retire to set yourself up for success. All right, so 5 things to do 5 years before you retire. Number 1, estimate the monthly income you will need. This is important because you want to know what kind of income you need in order to cover the expenses that you're anticipating in retirement. We want to make sure that you determine whether you will stay in your existing home or if you're going to move and maybe even move to another state. Talk about that. You want to think about debt and taxes. You want to consider healthcare costs. And you also want to imagine what your ideal retirement looks like. Let's go ahead and move into the slides. So first, estimating your monthly income. So number 1 thing you need to do is, what are my expenses going to be in retirement? The second thing is, what kind of guaranteed sources of income will I have? So Social Security for you and your spouse, your pensions, annuities, anything that's set up currently. And if there is an income gap, you need to identify what that is and what your anticipated withdrawals would be from your assets. Also keep in mind that if there's not an income gap, that if you have any money in a traditional IRA or in a 401k that you may roll into an IRA, that there could be required minimum distributions at age 72. Definitely just something you want to consult with your financial professional on. Next is determining your living situation in retirement. So if you're considering maybe moving to another state, maybe you're going to go south for the warm weather, or just move somewhere else that you've always wanted to move to, keep in mind that each state have different taxes involved. So there could be a change there. You may also consider downsizing. So maybe you stay where you're at, but you move to a different home to live in the same town, which could reduce your living expenses. You may also move to a state with higher living expenses, so that could impact it as well. Last item, of course, related to where you live is you could possibly be closer to immediate family members, so getting closer to watch your grandkids grow. Maybe also if you need help or you're anticipating needing help from your children or your family, that may be another reason why you would move, and it could have an impact on your retirement. The next thing you want to do is you want to think about debt and taxes. So really, you do not want to take debt with you. As we have here in quotes, debt should retire when you do. We definitely don't want to bring that with us. We want to be able to make sure that any income we're bringing in is being used for our living expenses and for the enjoyment in retirement, not to pay off debt that was in the past. As far as retirement tax planning, some things you may consider is Roth conversions. I'll come back to that here in a second. Required minimum distribution impacts, Social Security taxation, what your Medicare premiums might be, and what you plan on doing, what your plan is at least for wealth transfer and how that may affect your family as far as taxes go. But going back up to the first point there on Roth conversions, one thing you can consider, and something a lot of our clients do an analysis on whenever they're looking at retiring soon, is what is your tax situation going to look like in retirement, and does it make sense to take your pre-tax money and convert it to a Roth now to be able to give yourself some tax-free growth for the future? So does it make sense to pay the taxes now, or do you want to pay the taxes whenever you take it out in retirement? So definitely something to consider, and everybody's situation is going to be different. The next slide is covering healthcare costs. So of course, at age 65, that's kind of the age where Medicare comes into play. So if you're retiring before 65, what's your plan to bridge the gap from retirement to Medicare? And then is Medicare going to be enough? So you may need to supplement that with another policy. And then of course, there's also long-term care costs. Everybody's living longer, and as much as we don't want to admit it now, we're probably going to need help in the future. And so that may mean a nursing home, or it may just mean care that's coming to your home or assisted living. So these costs can really add up on you. It costs a lot to live in a nursing home or to bring care to your home. And so what are some things that you can do to protect yourself and protect your beneficiaries and your spouses, of course, from the impact of long-term care? So definitely something to consider now and set yourself up for the future. Finally, what is your ideal retirement? So this is kind of the fun slide. We're thinking about 5 years out. We can't wait to get there, but what are you going to do in retirement? So, some goals we have listed here, of course, spend time with family, travel, pursue some hobbies that you have out there. All those things are great things, and it's definitely something that you want to do in retirement to make sure that you're filling that void of where you used to go to your 8 to 5. But we also want to make sure that we ensure that the finances that you have can support your goals. So that's where doing retirement planning, a proper investment allocation, and your tax planning are all important things to help you support and give yourself a plan to meet the goals that you're looking for in retirement. We appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. We hope the content was helpful to you. And if there's anything we can do for you, if you'd like to sit down and have a discussion with us, here's our contact information, and we'll look forward to speaking with you soon.